Okay guys, so we're continuing 5.6 on the back over here, this box. It says finite differences. We use the word first now, so don't worry about that. First differences and the patterns in the x values can be used to find the slope of a linear relation. The constant of variation is also the slope of the linear relation. A line has an equation in the form of y is equal to mx plus b. You're going to hear us say that a lot, where m represents the slope and b represents the y-intercept. Okay? So the good news here, example 2, we already did this question, excuse me, I think on 5.4. So we already did that, so that's out. So let's go to the next page. And just let me bring it up here. So this is all out as well, right? In this box, just have a read over here, okay? The first case, the first point over here, a constant or average rate of change can be interpreted as the slope of a linear relation. There's our slope formula, okay? Rise over run. If they give you coordinates, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, that's important. What's more important is if any of these numbers are negatives, you must put these guys in brackets like this. And even if they're not negatives, the brackets will not hurt you. Reason why negatives are scary over here is because there's a double negative rule over here which students don't see if they don't put this in negatives, in brackets. Okay? So let's go to example 3 down at the bottom over there. Good question. So up top over here in the box over here, the last point says we can write an equation with words. We can write them with a diagram or a graph. We can show them with a table of values or a t-chart, and we can also show it with an equation. That's what we're going to do in example 3. Okay? So it says Jack has a part-time job delivering flyers, advertising flyers. He's paid $25 per day plus $9 per 100 flyers he delivers. Describe this relation in 4 ways. So the first way is words. Okay? So we can actually write in English for every 100 flyers he earns $9 plus, and because it's in words, I guess we have to write out the word plus, a flat fee of $25. Okay? We don't really spend a lot of time with words, right? Explaining it in words. So don't get all caught up in that. Using numbers, using a table of values. So let's use a t-chart over here. So we're going to call this guy number of flyers, and we're going to call this guy earnings. These are our 2 variables. Okay? Remember, this represents X, this represents Y. Okay? So let's make up some numbers over here. So think about you delivering newspapers, okay? So we can't go 0, we can't have any negatives, first of all, okay? But we can't also do 0, 1, 2, 3. You're going to deliver more papers than that. So let's go, let's say by 100. So let's go 0, 100, 200, 300. And let's see what our answers are over here. So if you deliver 0 flyers, so remember our sentence up here. So it says for every 100 flyers, he gets $9 plus a flat fee of $25. So if he delivers 0 flyers, he doesn't make his $9, but he makes his $25 flat fee. 100 flyers. So 100 flyers, he gets $9. So $9 plus the flat fee of 25, $34. Okay, $200. 200 flyers. So for 100 flyers, he gets $9. He delivered 200, so now that's $18. $18 plus $25, $43. Okay, and now we want you to follow the pattern. So 25 to 34 to 43 is all a difference of 9. So you have to add 9 to 43 and you get 52. Okay? While we're here, let's figure out the first differences while we're on this chart. Okay, let's make another column. Call it first differences. So second one minus the first one. Right? Third one minus the previous one. And there's no negatives here, so you don't have to worry about brackets. That's the good news. Last one, subtract the previous one. Now, while we're here, let me talk to you about this. Our slope is not 9, okay? And it's not 9 because this is not going by ones. So how do we figure out what our slope is with our first differences and with these guys? Well, you take your first differences. Let's just write on the bottom over here. Therefore, slope is. You take your first differences and you divide it by what this is going by. That's going by 100. So your slope is actually 0.09. And in this question, because we're talking about money, it's actually 9 cents. Okay, you understand? So that's important. So the first differences is not always the slope. The first difference is, the slope is the first differences divided by what this is going by. Okay, got it? So let's flip the back. You need a ruler here. And it says, let's graph the relation. So from the table of values in the front over there, you've got a couple coordinates. You've got one coordinate of 0 and 25. And then our last coordinate was 352. So right 300, up 52, which is about right there. There's where you're going to put your ruler on those two dots. And you're going to extend the line out to the right. You're not going to go to the left because there's no negatives in this question, but that's what it's got to look like. And it's a line, so you're going to put an arrow on there. So we've successfully graphed it. Okay, now the most important part. Now watch where you're writing over here because we're going to add some questions down here. Okay, so watch, make sure you write where I write. So let's make an equation now. So remember from the previous screen there, or from the previous lesson, we made an equation with what two things did you need? You needed the slope and you needed the y-intercept or the vertical intercept. Okay? So the equation is always in this form. Spread it out a little bit. You need a number for here and a number for here. So our slope was 0.09 with the x variable. Okay, and I'm going to change this, but let's write it like this for now. And then our y-intercept was positive 25. Okay, now the reason why I'm going to change it is I don't want you to use y and x because this is a word problem. So if you look at your graph, this y, okay, actually is earnings. So it should be capital E is equal to 0.09 My X is this axis, but it actually represents the flyers delivered. So let's call it letter F. Drop the plus 25. Okay? So we'd rather you use variables that make sense. E is for earnings. F is for number of flyers. Okay? Now let's add another question over here, which you're going to get in the textbook. So let's call it Roman numeral 5. And let's write, if you delivered 618 flyers, how much did you earn? If you delivered 618 flyers, how much did you earn? Okay, let me stop you there because I think I might run out of room over here, space, and then I'm going to continue it on the next screen. Okay?